A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back in the Super League. Well, it is the Athletic Kangaroos up against the OG Stars. Athletic Kangaroos batting first, and Viral Sheda and Vidyut will be opening the innings. And Ashwath starting here with the new ball. The left arm spinner starts over the dot delivery up against Viral Sheda. So the Athletic Kangaroos winning the toss, electing to bat first. The side in blue up against the side in yellow. Well, it's like Mumbai and Chennai at the moment. Straight away in the air and gone. Early breakthrough. Viral Chera departs. Superb piece of bowling. An outside edge and a very simple catch in the end for the fielder. And it's not for one. Right, then we continue now as Akash Modi comes in here at number 3. Not for one at the moment, the Athletic Kangaroos, and straight away in trouble. Well, once again, beautifully bowled. It was the arm ball, no turn at all, and played nicely on the leg side by Akash Modi. Once again, just pushed on the offside, straight to the fielder. A very good start this for the OG Stars in this all important clash of the Super League. This time a tossed up delivery. Once again, it's in the air. The fielder will wanting to get underneath it, but it won't quite carry to the fielder out there at long off. Had he been inside the circle, that would have been an easy take. Nonetheless, the first run on the board, and Akash Modi is off the mark, brings Vidyut Sodha on strike. Finally, the first run of the innings. It's been an excellent over the first one by Ashwath Nair. So one more delivery left now in this first over. Slip in place for Vidyut. And this time a big appeal, and the umpire says it's angling down the leg side. Well, once again, beautifully bowled. And an excellent over coming to an end. At the end of the first now, the Athletic Kangaroos, they are 1 for 1. Right, and Narendra Pradhan continuing in the second over, and he starts off with a wide delivery. So the first extra of the innings. The pacer coming into bowl the second over and continuing to try and apply some pressure on the athletic Kangaroos. This time cut away, played up and just past the fielder at point, and that will run away to the boundary. So the first boundary of the innings, and it's Akash Modi with that excellent shot. Well, once again wanted to cut that one away, and another wide signal by the umpire. Well, once again playing that one in the air slightly, but there is protection out in the deep, so the plan is clear by Narendra. He wants to bowl outside the off stump. This time a much better line and left alone there by Vidyut. Once again wanting to cut that one away and not quite able to get the connection that he wanted. Back to back dots up against Vidyut. Well, another swing and a miss. Wanting to play that one through the offside. Well, nonetheless, that's the end of the second over with the score now at 8 for 1 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, Ashwat Nair continuing in this third over. Starts off nicely with the dot, but now beautifully played through that leg side. The fielder having the need to run a long way, won't quite find the fence. Not enough power behind it. And they get a couple of runs. So Akash Modi, well, he's looking in good touch out there. And this time wanting to go big. It's a swing and a miss. Well beaten for turn. Well, this time played in the air. Will that clear the fielder? Well, he's taken it, but he's gone over the fence. So a six for Akash Modi. Well, it was very risky. And he somehow managed to get the maximum on that. Beautifully struck in the end. Well, a very good catch, you must say, but couldn't quite keep himself inside the ground. So Ashwath Nair all of a sudden conceding a maximum. Well, this time pushed away on the offside, much better there by the bowler. This time a big swing, big appeal, and given by the umpire. Easy decision in the end. Plum struck right in front, and Ashwath Nair turns things around once again at the end of this third over. Well, superbly bowled, and he's done an outstanding job. 16 for 2 now at the end of the third. Ashwath Nair gets a second. Right, then we continue in this fourth. Narendra continuing. Vidyut pushes it on the offside and he gets off the mark finally. It's of his fifth delivery. Just pushing it on the offside, taking that single. This time wanting to cut that one away. Parkar on strike for the first time in this game, coming in at number 4. Well, they've got those couple of early wickets, the OG stars. They are off to a flyer, and they would be wanting to continue in this fashion inside this power play, especially. Well, once again, a thick outside edge and just past the wicketkeeper. That will run away to the boundary. Well, not quite where he intended, but it does not matter in the end. He's got that boundary, Parkar, and he gets off the mark of his second delivery. Well, this time driven in the air and almost holding on to it there, the fielder. A diving effort and very close. Well, full marks for the effort. Couldn't quite get behind it. And almost another wicket. Narendra Pradhan, well, he would feel that he's very unlucky. A few inches closer to the fielder, and that would have been taken. Nonetheless, a single taken by Parkar brings Vidyut on strike, who has been struggling out there. He has opened the innings here, Vidyut, of course. Faced just the 5 deliveries for his 1 run. And he's hit the timber this time, Narendra. What a beautiful delivery. Well, pretty late onto that shot was Vidyut. And the third one gone for the athletic Kangaroos. Well, wanting to play that one on the leg side and hitting the top of off. And the athletic Kangaroos are now 22 for 3 in big trouble inside this power play itself. Well, Drumal coming in here at number 5, plays it on the offside for a dot delivery. That is now the end of the fourth with the score at 22 for 3 for the Athletic Kangaroos, in big trouble already. Right then, Ashwath Nair is going to continue now. The left arm spinner, Vice Shirindi. He's taken a couple of wickets, and how would he love to add a few more to his tally? So Parkar taking his time out there. But in fact, the non-striker Drumal also taking his time, wanting to make sure that he's well guarded, especially if Parkar, who is a hard hitter of the ball, hits one straight back at him. So he will be wanting to make sure that he will stay all right. And now taking his guard there, Parkar. Well, slip is still in place here. It will be interesting to see where does Parkar go. And Parkar goes big. It's high, but it's going to land safely. And they will take only the single. So brings Drumal on strike, who has come in here at number 5. The number 4 and 5 batters out in at the crease. The top order has been sent back to the pavilion. Once again, beautifully bowled. And now played on that leg side, but straight to the fielder. Not yet able to get off the mark here, Dhrumal Parekh. And this time plays it in the air, well, straight to the fielder at mid-on and sent back in the end. Well, Parkar wanted to take this thing. He's given out. He's gone. It's a run out. A total miscommunication between the two. And Parkar, who was looking extremely good out there, has been run out. And he's furious with his partner. A yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And in the end, a no, where he was more than half the way up the pitch. Couldn't quite get back on time. And Ashwath Nair doing an excellent job in the end, collecting it cleanly and taking the bails off. And the Athletic Kangaroos lose their fourth. It's 23 for 4 now. Right then, in comes Bhavin out there in the middle, but he will be at the non-striker's end because the run out was at the non-striker's end. Drumal once again swing and a miss, beautifully bowled by Ashwath, feeling the pressure out there. 4 down, the Athletic Kangaroos. How do they get out of this? One more delivery left in this fifth. It's a swing and a miss. And has that gone on and hit the timber? Well, yes, it has. Another one gone. Drummel, never in control, departs here for a duck. And the athletic Kangaroos, they have lost their fifth. What a beautiful start this is. And Ashwath Nair striking his third. And at the end of the fifth, now still inside this power play, the athletic Kangaroos are 23 for 5. Would you believe it? Well, we continue now in the sixth, and well, the OG Stars have their tails up. Narendra once again continuing, and why shouldn't he? He's done an exceptional job so far. And he plays it on that leg side, straight to the fielder, and a slight misfield will allow them to come back for the second. So Bhavin is off the mark. Well, boy, they need some runs here. He's joined there by Denil now. Denil Salva coming in here at number 7 at the non-strikers end. Wicket came on the last delivery of the over, and henceforth he is at the non-strikers end. And this time struck hard, straight to the fielder. Chance of a run out, mess up, and another one. What's happening out there? It's Denil Salva. It's a diamond duck. He's gone out without facing a delivery. Total catastrophe out there for the athletic Kangaroos. And it's an evening in the favor of the OG Stars, isn't it? Wickets after wickets, mistakes after mistakes. And they are 6 down now in the sixth over. Once again, another run out. And he's furious, isn't he? Denil. 25 for 6. Incredible scenes out here at the Somaya cricket ground. 25 for 6, the Athletic Kangaroos. Once again, what a delivery that is, shaping that one away from the right-hander. Exceptional delivery. Manan Chheda coming in here at number 8, and he has a job to do along with Bhavin. They need a partnership where they need to get somewhere to a respectable total, don't they, the Athletic Kangaroos? This time pushed towards the third man region. Single taken. Well, how do they get out of this? Manan getting off the mark of his second delivery, bringing Bhavin back on strike, who was the guilty party in that run out of Denil. Well, Bhavin once again wanting to cut that one away, and how close was that to the outside edge once again? Nonetheless, that's the end of the sixth with the score at 26 for 6 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, a change in the bowling. Not sure exactly why would you do that. They're continuing with Kunal here in the seventh over. Well, Ashwath was bowling superbly, and if I would have been the captain personally, I would have bowled out Ashwath. Nonetheless, they are still on top here, the OG Stars, and well, it's a game where they are playing for pride now here, the Athletic Kangaroos. And so you can see the full squad of the both the sides. Well, wanting to play that one on the offside on that occasion. A dot delivery, Manan Chheda on strike. Once again, happy to play it back to the bowler. Well, the first thing for the Athletic Kangaroos would be to try and play out the 20 overs. It is going to be difficult, but they have to try and manage that to give themselves any chance. Once again, played upishly, cut away, and there is protection out there in deep. So a single of the third delivery. This time, happy to push it on the offside, straight to the fielder. Well, this time, a tossed up delivery, and Bhavin, he was not going to be tempted with that. He straight it straight to the fielder at mid on, laying it along the carpet, and sensible as well. Need to buy some time out there at the crease. One more delivery left now in this seventh over. Just two have come off this Kunal over. And it is going to stay at two. That is the end of the seventh now with the score at 28 for 6. Right then, continuing with Narendra as the go-to pacer. He's going to be bowled out here. Well, I would feel that they should have done the same with Ashwath as well because he took those 3 wickets and I think he would have added maybe one more to put the final nail in the coffin for the Athletic Kangaroos. It's a total collapse right at the top of the innings. Narendra starting off with a wide and now a dot. This time played nicely, but straight to the fielder. Another dot delivery. And they can't really afford to take those quick singles either now because they have already had a couple of run-outs. Things have been looking very difficult for the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, once again, nicely played, but once again, straight to the fielder at short third. And this time they wanted to take that single. And almost another run out. A total mix up once again. Sent back right on time though. Well, once again played along the carpet on that leg side. So finally a run off the bat in this over. Well, once again in the air and almost carrying to the fielder. Well, brilliant delivery by Narendra. Just not offering much to the batter, is he? And now one more delivery left in this eighth over. Once again played on the offside, straight towards the man at the third man region. So just the three coming of the over. End of the spell for Narendra. 4 overs, one for 19, and at the end of the eighth now it's 31 for 6 for the Athletic Kangaroos in big trouble. Right then, Kunal continuing in this ninth over. Starts off with a dot delivery. Well, another wide delivery given by the umpire. Once again in the air, and it lands safely. Well, these two staying out there at the crease for now, and they need to as well. Such is the situation of the game. Well, this time a thick outside edge won't quite carry to the fielder. Well, once again in the air, and it's in the gap. And Bhavin, has he got the boundary? Well, not quite so. And he's done really well there, the fielder, to let that one not go away to the boundary. Good footwork out there by the fielder. Well, this time he goes big. It's gone high. And once again lands safely. Well, once again won't quite find the fence, but gets a couple of runs. Now then, one more delivery left now in this ninth. It's been a decent over. 6 runs have come off it for the athletic Kangaroos. Rebuilding and rebuilding nicely. These two, Bhavin and Manan, taking their time out there at the crease. Well, once again, cut away straight to the fielder, and they take a quick single. So that is now the end of the ninth over with the score at 38 for 6. 7 runs coming off that ninth over. Well, this time a mandatory change in the bowling. Narendra is bowled out, so they had to change someone, and it's going to be Jasdeep to continue in this nine. And he's played that one behind square. That one will run away for sure. Finally, a boundary, and it's Bhavin who gets it. That's just what they need. This partnership building nicely now for the athletic Kangaroos, and they're showing some fight out here. How close was that to the stump? What a delivery that is. And given as a bye by the umpire with an excellent delivery. This time a wide. And he's got another one. Well, it's just Steve who gets his first, and finally they break this partnership. Well, it's Mun and Cheda this time, and the Athletic Kangaroos, well, they have lost this seventh, and the umpires have also called for drinks. It's 44 for 7 now, would you believe it? And these two, well, they had a good attempt. Bhavin once again loses another partner as Lavish comes in at number 9. Right then, 45 for 7. And guess who's back to bowl this 11th? It's Ashwath Nair. They are in search for those wickets, the remaining three. It's going to be Kunal to bowl it. Well, they thought of going with Ashwath Nair, but in the end decided of going with Kunal because maybe they feel that the wickets should be distributed as they've already got 7. 45 for 7, the Athletic Kangaroos. It's just got from bad to worst, hasn't it? Charging down the wicket, and he's found the man at long off. He's done really well in the end. Keeps that one away from the boundary line. Well, once again played down the ground. Well, once again Bhavin needs to try and build a partnership, this time with Lavesh. Who has come in here at number 9. Well, there is a slip in place once again for the tail ender. Once again, nicely bowled by Kunal, not offering much to the batter. Well, how do they approach this? Do they just stick around and try and play out the 20 overs, or they try and make sure that Bhavin gets as many deliveries as possible and he gets those boundaries in? Well, a lot depends on the amount of confidence that Bhavin must have gained with the 14 runs that he scored so far. He is the key here to try and get them to at least 100 in this game. Well, 100 will be something to bowl at for the bowlers. If they can score 100 and then get a few wickets early on inside the power play, maybe then they can try and stay in the game. Anything below that will not be good at all. Well, this time Lavesh plays it back past the bowler. So a single to end the over. That is the end of the 11th now with the score at 48 for 7 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, we start this 12th over, and what a hit that is by Lavish. Where has that one come from? That will bring up the 50 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, a brilliant strike over the fielder at long off. And he's taken some pressure off Bhavin. And Bhavin will grow in some confidence with his partner as well. Well, can he get a few more here? These are crucial runs for the Athletic Kangaroos. They need to try and make a game out of it. This time, a much better delivery by Jasdeep, the off spinner, bowling it into the right hander, and they get a couple of runs. Excellent running between the wickets this time. Well, they have had a couple of run outs. They have had quite a few issues with the communication in the running between the wickets, but quite comfortably getting those couple of runs. So Jasdeep, well, how does it come back here? Well, once again, he wanted to charge down the wicket in the end, pulled out of the big shot that he wanted to play Lavesh. Superbly bowled by Jasdeep. And once again he goes big. Wow! What a hit that is! It's a mighty blow. Another one. A colossal hit in the end by Lavish. And he's turning the heat on here. All of a sudden, some runs for the athletic Kangaroos. Brilliant, brilliant hit. Second six of the over. Lavish is doing an exceptional job here. The score moves on to 62. And if he keeps on batting this way, well, we might be in for a cracker of the last few overs. There's some issue with the ball, and umpire wanting to make sure that it's all right and we continue. Well, is Lavish going to do the unthinkable? He seems to be in the mood out there, showing great mentality, going against the bowlers for those big hits. This time much more slower through the air, played behind square. The chase is on. The keeper gets across and a couple of runs taken again. So that makes it 14 of the over. 6-2 dot, 6-2 dot. Well, in fact, uh, the six delivery is left. So 6-2 dot, 6-2. And you will assume it will be a dot so that it will be clarified. But nonetheless, that's the end of the 12th over, it seems. Well, I think there's still one more delivery left, and the umpire is calling him back. Yes, rightly so, confirmed with the scorer. So Jasdeep will have to come back to bowl his last delivery. So what does Lavish do here now? Well, he has already got his eye in, more than his eye in. He's got a couple of sixes, a couple of colossal hits, and this time a much better delivery. So 6-2 dot, 6-2 dot is what the over had in the end. 14 coming off it. In fact, 16 coming off it, and at the end of the 12th, now it's 64 for 7 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Right then, Kunal is going to continue, and he goes for it again. This time it's Bhavin, clean, hits it long, third six in as many as 8 deliveries, and just what they needed is a counter punch by the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, all of a sudden they are very close to going at a run a ball, and maybe more than 100 now, maybe 120 is on the cards if they keep on batting in this fashion. A brilliant hit straight down the ground, hitting that one ever so well, Bhavin. Well, this time cuts that one away, plays it along the carpet, finds the man out there in the deep, and brings Lavesh back on strike. Well, good to see good positive intent by the athletic Kangaroos. Well, once again charging down the wicket in the air and just over the fielder. Once again, that long off fielder when he thought he was in play. Another six. Four sixes coming in the last 10 deliveries, and they are now going at more than six and over. And if these two, if they can keep on batting this way, well, we might be in for a big total. Brilliant piece of batting by Lavesh and Bhavin, especially Lavesh. That was his third six. And Kunal, no answers for him. 3.4 overs, none for 25 now. This last over proving to be very expensive for him. So Kunal has made the long off fielder slightly straighter now. But he knows Lavish is going to go big. Meanwhile, all sevens on the board. 77 for 7. And once again, he goes big. This time, the fielder. Well, he's dropped it in the end. Lucky Lavish. Well, all of a sudden, a lot of firepower being shown. Bhavin now on strike, and Bhavin hits it along the carpet on the offside, takes that single. Once again, another big over, 15 coming off it. Make that 16 with that overthrow. So the last couple of overs, 16 runs coming. And Konali finishes spell, 4 overs, none for 28 at the end of the 13. Now it's 80 for 7. Right then, a change in the bowling. Vinay Mehra continuing in this 14th. Well, not sure exactly why is Ashwath not been brought back into the attack. He's bowled just the 3 overs. He's got one more left, and he was their wicket taker. And they are saving that 1 over for maybe too long because they are getting right back into this athletic Kangaroos, especially with the way these two keep on batting. Well, once again in the air, what a good shot that has gone all the way as well. Brilliant batting. Bhavin in on the act along with Lavesh. Well, these two have decided no point hanging around. Get those fours and sixes, get them to 150. That is what they are thinking, the Athletic Kangaroos. Brilliant hit once again, and Vinemera conceding a six just off the second delivery that he's bowled. This time, a much better delivery. Once again, an excellent delivery by Vinemera. And now a big swing. Well, has he found the edge? Yes, he has. So finally, they get the eighth wicket. And Bhavin, well, the counter punch has come to an end. He was striking the ball beautifully. And the Athletic Kangaroos, well, they lose their eighth. A brilliant take in the end by the wicket keeper. And just what the men in yellow needed, the OG Stars. Right then, the new man in is Viren Shah, coming in here at number 10 and needs to support Lavish. Will be interesting to see how does Lavish approach this innings now. Well, once again, just pushed on the offside, straight to the fielder. Well, that is now the end of the 14th with a score at 87 for 8 for the Athletic Kangaroos. Right then, finally, Ashwath is back into the attack. Well, he starts off with a wide delivery. Nicely pushed on the offside. Just two more wickets away here, the OG Stars, from bowling the opposition out. This time playing it straight to the wicket keeper on that leg side. Well, Ashwath Nair is into his final over, of course. 3 for 11 for him in his 3.2. And how would he love to get a 5 wicket haul here? Once again, beautifully bowled by Ashwath and nicely played along the carpet by Lavesh. Well, how often have you seen that by Lavesh in this inning so far? Bringing Viren on strike now. He's got three more deliveries to survive here for the athletic Kangaroos. He needs to try and make sure that he supports Lavish in the back end of this innings. Well, still 33 more deliveries left. 33 singles gets them to 122, which will be a decent total. Once again, beautifully bowled by Ashwath. Viren just wanting to defend it, wanting to make sure that he plays out these three deliveries. He's got two more left. Get done with Ashwath, and then maybe they can think about going and launching in the last 5 overs. Well, has that found the edge? It's a big appeal, and the umpire's finger has stayed down. Well, they are very confident out there. Given not out by the umpire. Well, that is now the end of the 15th over with the score at 89 for 8. And Ashwath Nair is done for the day. 4 overs, 3 for 12 for him. Outstanding spell. Well, Vinemera is going to continue and Lavish will be on strike. Will be interesting to see what is his mindset over this now. He's hit 3 cracking hits already for himself. 18 runs have come off his 28 of 3 sixes. Well, it seems like once again wanting to hit that one hard through the offside. Beaten for pace on that occasion. Well, very important to play sensibly here for Lavish. He's got a couple of partners left. He's got Viren and also the number 11 coming in. But it seems like he has only one thing on the mind. It's another swing and a miss, a wild one. He wants to get some quick runs. He does not want somewhere in the region of 120. He wants 150. That is the mindset he has. He wants to make sure that it's not going to be just something to bowl at for the bowlers. It's going to be more than that. Well, remember, it's a remarkable recovery, though they were 25 for 6 when they. Well, playing it along the carpet on that occasion. Well, there's no chance to come back for the second, so he will be stranded with the non-strikers, and now an opportunity for Vinemera to try and get the ninth wicket here. Viren, who is yet to get off the mark here, he's faced 5 deliveries at the moment, playing the game of survival. Well, in the air, and Viren wanting to try something expansive. It's played luckily over the fielder at cover, and he comes back for the second. So he gets off the mark. A couple of runs taken. So Viren Shah also showing that he has some boundaries in himself, maybe. Well, that was the intention there. Nonetheless, this time a slower one, and he's picked that one up nicely. He's played it on that leg side, takes the single, and brings Lavish back on strike for the last delivery of the 16. Well, it's good to see that they have played out these many overs, because 25 for 6 after the first 6 overs showed that they were in big trouble of being bowled out maybe in 10 or 11 overs for a score less than 50. That is the way it was going on. That is now the end of the 16th. Lavish faces a dot delivery. Viren will be on strike for the start of the 17th. It's 93 for 8 now for the Athletic Kangaroos. Right, then Jasdeep continuing here. He plays it down the ground towards the fielder at long on. Single taken. Well, once again played on that leg side. Well, Lavish will get nothing more than a single. So Jasdeep once again will have the crack at Viren. Well, once again cut away and just over the fielder. Well, putting a dive in, bouncing right in front of him. Couldn't quite get behind it. So 3 singles. And this is good stuff by the Athletic Kangaroos. Well, remember they were 25 for 6 and now they are 96 for 8. It is more than a recovery this. They are giving themselves a chance in this game. Still 3.5 overs left, and with someone like Lavish batting still out there. And he's got a wicket. As soon as you talk about it, a big swing and a miss, and the ball crashing onto the stumps. And the athletic Kangaroos, well, they have lost their ninth now. 96 for 9 after 16.4. And the well set Lavesh departs. Right then, Jasdeep up against Bhavin Rambhia coming in here at number 11. With just one more wicket left now in this innings. And these two, it's important for them to try and play out these remaining 3 overs. Once again, beautifully bowled. Another dot to end the over. Successful over for Jasdeep, getting his second at the end of the 17th. Now it's 96 for 9. Well, Vinay Mehra continuing in this 18th. Well, the first target for them will be to try and reach 100. 97 on the board now. Played uppishly by Bhavin. Gets off the mark with that single. Well, this time wanted to cut that one away. Nicely bowled. Once again, just pushing it on the offside. And the score moves on to all nines. 99 for 9. So, at the least, the target will be 100 for the OG Stars. And, well, they have done superbly well to get these many runs here. Remember, they were 25 for 6. And the lower order has done an exceptional job. Once again, just played back to the bowler. And now one more delivery left in this 18th. Once again, nicely bowled. So that is now the end of the 18. Just the 3 runs coming off this Vinemera over. It's 99 for 8. 9 for 9 rather. Well, Jasdeep is going to bowl the penultimate over of the innings, starting off with a dot delivery in search of this last wicket. Well, the OG Stars will not be happy with themselves at all. They might be in a very good position in this game, but 25 for 6 to 99 for 9 is not something they will be happy with. Well, a single taken, and finally, the 100 is up for the Athletic Kangaroos. 100 for 9 now after 18.2 overs, and still 10 more deliveries left in this innings. Brilliant bit of batting by the lower order. Well, once again, wanting to play that one behind square. This time it was Bhavin, and very close to finding the outside edge, just deep. And once again, beautifully bowled, but a thick inside edge, and it finds the fence. So 4 more crucial runs, and it's come off the bat of Bhavin. Well, a lucky break in the end. You would feel very close to chopping it on, and it's just gone just past the stumps, past the wicketkeeper. No one behind square on that leg side, and Bhavin gets a boundary for his team. Still 8 more deliveries left. Can they get a couple of more hits here? A couple of lucky breaks. Well, once again, beats the batter just deep. He's got 1 more delivery left in his spell and in this innings. 2 for 30 for him in his 3.5. Can he get his third? Well, it's a big appeal. Well, chance of a run out, total mix up, and that's the third run out of the innings. There was never a run there, and Bhavin departs. And the Athletic Kangaroos, they are bowled out here for 104. Well, they have done remarkably well to reach to this total, though. 104 is what they get after being 25 for 6 after the first 6 overs. And the target for the OG Stars will be 105 when they come out to chase, and they will be very happy and feeling very comfortable in this position in this game in the TSL season number 5 out here at the Somaya cricket ground. Well, we will back for the chase in a short while from now.
Hello, 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 hello.
continuing in this third over. 16 already on the board for the OG Stars. They are off to a flyer, aren't they? Should not be an issue. And what a good shot that is by Vinemera. Beautifully placed in the gap on the offside. And a boundary at the second delivery of this over as well. The target is not a big one, it's only 105, and they already have 20 on the board here, the OG Stars. Well, they know that the power play overs are crucial, and it is an opportunity for them to try and not only win this game, but win with some authority, which will help them improve the net run rate as well, and massively. Defends it off the front foot. This time plays it on the offside. Well, do they come back for the second? And they do so, quite comfortably taking advantage of the misfield. And a couple of more runs taken for the OG Stars. They will need them to stay out there as long as possible. This time wanting to play it through the offside. It's beaten the wicket keeper. And they get across for another single given as a bye by the umpire. One more delivery left now in this third over. Well, this time maybe striking the bat, well, not quite so. But it came off the outside edge, so that is the end of the third over. 7 runs coming off it. It is 23 without a wicket for the OG Stars. Shade are continuing this fourth, and a couple of runs taken again. They're cruising in this game here, the OG Stars. No problems at all. Well, they won the game maybe in the first 6 overs itself of the athletic Kangaroos, taking those 6 wickets inside the power play. Well, it was a remarkable recovery. 104 is what they posted, and with shots like those and catch drops like those, they are going to just keep on cruising here, the OG Stars. That should have been taken, that should have been the first wicket, and Manan Cheda cannot believe himself, cannot believe his luck. And he has a pretty smile on his face on the end. And another single taken by Vinemera, bringing the ever lively Mayur on strike. He's an exceptional opener, isn't he? Most often than not, he performs. And this time he goes big. And he's cleared the infield. That will go away to the boundary. It will trickle away to the fence in the end. Brilliant piece of batting this by Mayur. He knows exactly where the fielders are. And a boundary up against Man and Shira as well. Makes it 7 for the over already, halfway through this. Wanting to cut that one away. So a drop delivery for Manan. That's his first. And have a look at that. How close is that to the outside edge? Teasing Mayur on that one. Bowling that fourth stump line. Much better there by Manan. He's got one more delivery left. Excellent comeback after conceding 7 of the first 3. Not quite ready on that occasion. Plays it on the leg side. And a single taken. So that is now the end of the 4th over with the score at 31 without a wicket for the OG Stars. Continuing in this 5th, and a direct hit, and it's given. So a mix-up. We see another run out of this game. That's the 4th one, and this time it is Mayur. He's very unhappy with himself. Well, nonetheless, the athletic Kangaroos, they get there first. They needed quite a few wickets right at the top. Not quite so as per their liking, but they get there first. It's 31 for 1 now. And Mayur is mightily disappointed with himself, taking the long walk back to the pavilion. Departs here for 12. Alright, then in comes Raghavan at number 3, but he will be at the non-striker's end because the run-out was at the non-striker's end. Vinay will be on strike, the left-hander, who is at the moment on 14 of 11. Just 74 more needed for the OG Stars. They have got the best part of 95 deliveries still left, asking rate of only 4.67 with 9 wickets in hand. You would fancy them to get home quite comfortably. A single taken off a thick inside edge onto the leg side. Raghavan on strike for the first time in this game. Mehul just wanting to make sure that his field is set right. Well, they need 9 magic deliveries. The athletic Kangaroos, that is the only way that they can win this game. They need to keep on taking wickets at regular intervals to give themselves any chance. Beautifully bowled, pushed back to the bowler. What a delivery that is. Finding a lot of turn off the surface and very close to finding the outside edge. So they pushed on the offside. Another dot. So 3 consecutive dots now. One more delivery there from Mehul in his second. One more over of power play still left after this one, and the OG Stars, you would feel, haven't quite got that many runs as they would have hoped for. Well, happy to push it on the offside. Another dot. That is now the end of the 5th with the score of 32 for an exceptional over from Mehul. Just a 1 run and a wicket coming up. Now in this last over of the power play, Manan bowling it, coming around the wicket to the left-handed Vinay, trying to use the angle. Once again tossed up, and well, it's beaten Vinay. What a delivery! While offering a lot of flight, wanting him to play big, and he's missed it completely. So back-to-back dot deliveries. Nicely on the offside. So Raghavan back on strike. He's yet to get the mark here. Wanting to play it behind square on that leg side. He's got a thickish inside edge, and they scamper across for a couple. So given his leg by in the end by the umpires, so no edge, came off the pad. A couple of runs taken. again beautifully bowled. Beats the batter on that occasion. And now one more delivery left in the 6th over. And it's a wide delivery, so he will have to reload that one, Manan. And they've done well here, the athletic Kangaroos inside this power play. They have pulled things back after that good start. And this time hit hard by Rakavan, but there is protection out there in the deep. So just the 5 runs coming off that over at the end of the 6th. Now it is 37 for 1 for the OG Stars. Bhavin is going to continue now in this 7th over. The OG Stars 37 for 1. They are, of course, in a very good position in this game, but they would have liked a few more runs inside the power play. Losing the wicket of Mayur to a run out. This is something they will not be happy about. Nicely pushed on the offside. A single taken. Played behind square, a big appeal. The umpire not interested at all. delivery of Bhavin. They will be happy with this spell, this passage of play there at the Kangaroos. They have shown some fight even after being at 25 for 6. They managed to get 104 and are now doing a good job getting in those dog deliveries, but they need wickets. 67 required of 81. They are in a very comfortable position. A good sound of the bat played on that leg side. Finds the man out there in the deep. Come straight up, look land safely in the end. What a good over this has been. Just the 2 runs have come off it by Bhavin. And one more delivery left. And he's gone for the expansive drive, plays it towards the fielder at long off, takes the single, so 3 runs coming up with 7th. At the end of the 7th now is 44 1 for the OG Stars. Now in this 8th over, it struck the pad. Well, an appeal once again, but maybe just angling down the leg side. Wanting to cut that one away. Keeper collects it, another dot delivery. Denil continuing in this 8th. Well, this time it's gone right through. Well, won't quite find the fence. There is protection out there and a couple of more runs taken. So happy to knock the ball around here, the OG Stars. Again just pushed on the offside. Just the 2 runs of this over as well. Well, now played behind square and the fielder does really well to get his foot around it. And they are coming back for the second. Well, too late on that throw, taking full advantage of it. The OG Stars, and now overthrows. Make that 3. Somehow they managed to get 3 runs on that delivery. And Denil is furious with his fielders. So that makes it 5 of the over. Denil, who bowled a maiden over at the top of the innings, now conceding 5 in this one. He's got 1 more delivery left and Vinay Mehra is on strike. delivery. Not quite on target on that occasion, Denil. And now one more delivery left. Still in this 8th. 6 have come of it. Once again, beautifully bowled. So that is now the end of the 8th with the score at 46 for 1 for the OG Stars. Bhavin continuing and played behind square. What a good shot that is. That will run away to the boundary. And that will bring up the 50 for the OG Stars. 50 for 1 now in this 9th over. Excellent shot in the end. Well, it's been a while since the previous boundary. And after the boundary, they now just need 55 more to win. The OG Stars. Defended, but happy to keep those wickets in hand, happy to knock the ball around, not wanting to take any kind of risks, wanting to make sure that they win by as many wickets as possible. Uppishly on the offside, straight to the fielder. This time picked up. Once again, won't quite find the boundary. Get a couple of more runs. So they've got exactly half of what has been scored by the Athletic Kangaroos. Once again, played straight to the fielder. Played in the air over the fielder at square leg, and that will go away to the boundary. Second boundary of the over. All of a sudden getting some quick runs here, and now the OG Stars, well, they need less than 50 more. Just 49 more required, and at the end of the 9th now it's 56 for 1. Chera continuing in this 10th. It's a swing and a miss. Vinemera wanting to play that one through the offside. This time straight to the fielder. So back-to-back dots for Mananchera. Well, they have been very comfortable right from the word go, the OG Stars in this game. And now a wide delivery down the leg side. This time he leaves it alone. Another wide down that leg side. Three consecutive wides. This time he's overcorrected that one, holding the 6-stump line at the end. But he gets away with it. It's inside the tram line. And now charging down the wicket, wanting to play it over the infield. The longer fielder gets across and a couple of more runs taken. Well, 5 runs have come off this Mananchera over so far. 3 of them, those were wides. Once again playing it nicely on the offside. They're happy to take those singles and doubles, not quite interested in those boundaries. Going along nicely in this game, the OG Stars. One more delivery left now in this 10th over. Cut away, straight to the fielder. So that is now the end of the 10th with the score at 62 for 1 for the OG Stars, and the umpires are called for rings. ईयरफोन्स कनेक्टेड नहीं है क्योंकि देखो मेरे को लग रहा है ईयरफोन्स कनेक्टेड नहीं है क्योंकि ये देखो ये अभी भी दिखा रहा है चालू किया अभी भी वैसा ही है हेलो 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 हेलो
कनेक्ट नहीं है तो आवाज़ नहीं जाएगा ना।
मेरे को लग रहा है लैपटॉप से डायरेक्टली जा रहा है तब चलो क्योंकि ये पहले ऐसे नहीं होता पहले अगर मैं बंद भी कर रहा हूँ पूरा जीरो हो रहा था ये बंद किया तो पूरा बंद हो जाएगा।
वो अलग ही आ रहा है, मेरे ख्याल से वो लैपटॉप का लग रहा है। ठीक। पायस का नंबर है आपके पास? पायस का नंबर है, उसको ज़रा लगा पूछो। हेलो हेलो। हेलो 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 ठीक है, इसमें से बात करो। इसमें से बात करो क्या है?
नहीं, वो कनेक्टेड ही नहीं है क्योंकि ये लैपटॉप पे ही आवाज़ दे रहा है।
लैपटॉप पे ही करो।
उसको कहते हैं कि यही थोड़ा पास कर दीजिए तो आ जाएगा। इसका साइज़ कैसे बढ़ाने का? इसका साइज़ बढ़ा के नहीं
छोटा ही वाला ना।
Right then, that single brings up the 100, 100 for one now, and just 5 more needed for the OG Stars. Raghavan will be on strike. So does he go for the big shot and try and finish it off in style? Well, a dominant performance in the end here by the OG Stars. They won that game in the first 6 overs itself of that power play of the athletic Kangaroos. Well, a beautiful delivery this time by the bowler. The left arm spinner bowling the googly. Well, this time cut away, hit hard. The fielder will get across though. And only a single, and now just a hit away the OG Stars from securing the victory. Vinemera will be on strike. And played behind square, but straight to the fielder at fine leg. So another single, and now 3 more needed for victory. Well, he's gone for the big one, played it straight to the fielder at mid-on. And is that the end of the over? Yes, it is. That is the end of the 16th with the score at 102 for 1. Just 3 more needed for victory.
अभी 101 भी कर रहे हैं, 4 और आते हैं। 104 नहीं 105 ही इसमें 4 डाले, अच्छा 105।
So played on the leg side, and now 3 more required for victory. Well, Parker bowling this 17th over, and they're trying to push the game as far as possible here, the athletic Kangaroos. It has been a long evening for them. Well, hit hard, cut away, finds the fielder, and a quick single taken. So they're doing it in singles at the moment. Just 2 more needed now.
So Venemera searching for the gap where he can find that boundary to play that winning shot. It's a tossed up delivery and it's beaten. Wonderfully bowled by Parker in the end. Venemera wanting to play it across the line. Well, nicely cut away, and that will find the fence, and that is the winning shot Venemera was searching for, and the OG Stars have won this game by 9 wickets and 21 balls to spare. It's been an excellent performance, a total one-way traffic. The OG Stars totally dominant in this game, especially in the first 6 overs of the Athletic Kangaroos. They won the toss, elected to bat first, and they have failed miserably in this one, the Athletic Kangaroos. An outstanding performance right from the word go by the men in yellow today. Well, that was it from the Super League game out here today, and we'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, goodbye. इसको विनय को दे देते हैं